The Cathedral girls lacrosse team has a drive to want to win every game, as most teams do. But what separates this team from others is what they're doing when the scoreboard isn't running and the motivation behind it.
My dad was my biggest supporter. The minute I showed interest in something or my sister showed interest in something, that he would learn everything that he could about it. Just everything that I did, he always wanted to be a part of and support. So he was one of my number one fans from the beginning. He loved coming to games. He loved seeing the girls. If he couldn't come to games, he would ask me how it went, or he'd text me the night up. So he was very active until he couldn't come to games. He was just a very gentle man. He was very humble. He was so smart. He was intentional. He was thoughtful, and he was kind. I feel like he always made people feel seen. He was quiet. Then when I would get older and interact with him in social settings, I found that he was made other people feel visible and seen and talked to. When he would talk, he would be very careful about words that he chose. And that's how he was with all of his actions too. Most people don't know a lot about this, and this is something I generally keep close to me, but for those people who don't know, my dad was diagnosed with ALS in 2020. For those of you who don't know, it's a degenerative disease of your nerves, and eventually your brain stops talking to the rest of your body. I told my team in the spring of 2021, and I was very upset and I was crying, but I just was girls, I want to be so upfront and honest with you, because we all carry things throughout our lives. These girls I knew were going through, if not something similar, they were going through something heavy on their own. And so I think it was our Chittard game in 2021. The girls come out in a little line as they're getting ready to go on the field, and they all had roses in their hands. And one of them handed me a vase, and they each individually put roses in this vase. And they're like, "We're playing for your dad tonight." And that was just so special for me. The next year, class of 2022, they had a classmate who was had cancer. That was a really hard part of their junior and senior year. So we played a game for him as well. And in 2022, we dedicated every single game to a different cause, whether it was breast cancer, dementia, Alzheimer's, ALS, lymphoma, and every single game they had different ribbons they played. We wrote about it in our Instagram, and we kind of dedicated our play to that. This year we have a little ALS symbol on the back, and that's kind of been our main cause. So as we warm up for every game, that's something that you see and that you think about.
Coach White's dad was the perfect dad. When I went to the wake for her father, there were pictures of him cycling and running. Whatever the girls' hobbies were was something that became his hobby. I think we created Playing for a Cause just because we started talking about how can we support each other. And it just kept growing. Just realized that everybody carries a burden, and if we can use lacrosse and use the fact that we're on the field to support each other and to lift each other up, that would be such a positive for our team. I think the importance of dedicating what we play to different causes is that we've got a platform, and we want to make sure that our players and our coaches know that our platform is always to be used for something positive.
There's definitely a lot of family within our team. We are there for each other for emotional support on and off the field, and no matter what time of year it is, whether it's during season or not, and that's just what makes our team special, is that it's not just during the cross season that we're a family, but it's year round. Coach White is a very strong leader and a coach for our team. She is not only a coach, but she really is a positive influence on all of our lives, in school and outside of school, on the field and off the field.
If I could describe Coach White and her strength, I would say that she's always been a very good coach because she's a very personal coach. I would also say that she's been very strong dealing with everything with her own family and her dad, and she still comes out here to support us all the time.
When we play a game dedicated to a certain cause, I think that means more than what a usual game does. What we're putting on the field has a purpose behind it.
And it brings a personal aspect to the team, because if we have our own struggles or hardships that we go through, we can support each other by representing them in hair ties on our heads or bows. And it's really neat that we're able to bring that into our games. Loss, I would say we handle loss by always thinking about the future, and our coaches say to rub it off when we're sad or overthinking something or grieving about something, that it's just important to look to the future.